Sense hit put your guns down and stand with me. This shit was so silly. Tore up a whole city and 2 whole families. Sin City, Sin City, Sin City, Sin City. Let's go. Put down your guns, there's a cost to pay for the games you play. It could be your life, in a grave or a cell. Is it worth it? Nobody's perfect. Don't leave your family hurting. It ain't worth it. Hey, yeah, you put it down and walk away. Live to fight another day. There's a cost to pay for the games you play. The rest relay. Vinny, gotta believe. We celebrate your life today. Many to the Lord, I hope you pray. Now they wanna take your life away, all for a YouTube page. Rest in heaven, Finny, you will be missed. Sleep like an angel, Bubbly, you will be missed. Sending love to the babies, they bless the world with. Condolences to your families you can no longer sit with. Sympathy to those who witness, shout out to Las Vegas, Sin City. Put your guns down and stand with me. This shit was so silly, tore up a whole city and 2 whole families. Stop trying to compete where you do not compare. We are all so different, so special, so rare. Create with care, share with good intentions. Subscribe with high expectations and like with love. Yours truly sneaky, 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 sneaky. Put it down, you put it down. You got it done, there's a cost to pay for the games you play. It could be your life in a grave or a cell. Is it worth it? Nobody's perfect. Don't leave your family hurting. It ain't worth it. Hey, yeah, you put it down and walk away. Live to fight another day. There's a cost to pay for the games you play. The rest we lay. Vinny, God believe we celebrate your life today. Many to the Lord, I hope you pray. Now they wanna take your life away, all for a YouTube page. Rest in heaven, Finny, you will be missed. Sleep like an angel, Bubbly, you will be missed. Sending love to the babies they bless the world with. Condolences to your families you can no longer sit with. Sympathy to those who witness, shout out to Las Vegas, Sin City. What I mean, to the Lord I hope you pray. Now they wanna take your life away, all for a YouTube page. Rest in heaven, City, you will be missed. Sleep like an angel, Bubbly, you will be missed. Sending love to the babies they bless the world with. Condolences to your families you can no longer sit with. Sympathy to those who witness, shout out to Las Vegas, Sin City. Put your guns down and stand with me. This shit was so silly, tore up a whole city and 2 whole families. Stop trying to compete where you do not compare. We are all so different, so special, so rare. Create with care, share with good intentions. Subscribe with high expectations and like with love. Yours truly, Sneaky.
Hey y'all, hey, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. As you guys can hear, I'm just a little bit under the weather, but I'll be all right. How's everybody doing? Somebody put a 1 in the chat. Let me just know if you can hear me, please. I can't get it to work on another device. You can hear me? Okay, thank you, boo. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I had to come off my tablet and get into my I had to come off my laptop and come onto my tablet. So forgive me, but I'm here. Welcome, Jay Bliss, Becky, Veronica, rest in peace, Winnie and Bubbly. Cat, yes, this is live. This is live. Welcome everybody. Hey Jella, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for everybody for being here. Hey Steve, thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing today? I just wanted to give you guys an update from what went on in court today. As you guys can hear, I'm a little bit under the weather. Court was extremely, extremely long today, guys. The Manuel Ruiz case was not the case that was long. It was trial day for Devyn Michaels. So I've been covering both of these stories as well, and they both were in court today. So I was in court all afternoon. I came home and I had to take a little bit of nap to get through this live here and get myself prepared or drink some tea. So this is the best we're gonna get, but I'm gonna give you guys all of the details that I got today. Before I get started, I'm gonna kind of go in order as how things happened in court. So bear with me on that, but we'll get through everything as quickly as possible. You guys know I don't like to keep you here too long. I just want to give you the updates. So there were several cases in court today prior to both Manuel Ruiz and both the Devyn Michaels case. And I sat through a lot of these cases. There's a few I'm actually interested in. Um, we're going to be looking into those. I'll bring those guys up later. Let me see. Can I put it? Oh, I can't even put it. All right. Well, I'll go with what I got from here because I can't add it from my tablet. I'll try to add it in the background. But I know most of you guys seen my post today, and I pretty much posted a screenshot of everybody that was on the docket today, and a couple of those people we're going to be covering. Mr. Patterson, we're going to be covering. Mr. Beasley, we're going to be covering. One of them is going to be getting sentenced this coming January, and he's got a 10 to 25 year to life sentence for an unalivement. So we're going to be there for that as well. And then I did let you guys know that we are going down into the Vegas tunnels underneath the city of Las Vegas, where pretty much the homeless community of Las Vegas lives throughout, both the summer and the winter months. We've had some serious things go happen down there. There's a lot of people who actually live down there. You would be surprised about how many people live there. It's well over 1,000 people that live underneath the tunnels of Las Vegas. And we're covering the Hatchet murder case as well. So there's a few different cases that we're covering. I'm going to kind of streamline all three of those cases so that we're not getting confused in all over the place. But I am making sure that I'm giving you guys the updates from court as they come along. So those are some of the newer cases that we're going to be talking about. And I'll introduce you to some of those families in the coming week here. So I'm going to go through Manny's case first because it was kind of the shorter update, and I know a lot of you guys are here for that. Please make sure you stick around for the rest of the content as well. But we'll make sure we go through that and get that out of the way quickly. First, I want to say rest in peace to both Finney and Bubbly. Shout out to Mama Kennedy. My heart and prayers are with you. I still got so much content to put out, guys. I've just been either under the weather, going through life issues, trying to keep all these cases together. But I do have a lot of information coming out, some new songs and things like that as well. So look forward to that. You'll see that over the next couple days. So, upon entering the courtroom, there were several, as I said, defendants sitting in the courtroom. I was there for both sessions today, the 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. session and the 11 a.m. session. Manny was in court today again. His lawyer was also in court. There's a few things that I picked up on, so I just want to, give you guys a little bit of details about what I see in the case. And then when we get to the Devyn Michaels case, there's going to be some important things that we talk about in the beginning of that case that will tie into how we're viewing things from the courtroom for all cases going forward, especially with the Manuel Ruiz case, as we go to start the actual trial for this case in the coming year. So, the first thing that I noticed when I walked into the courtroom, obviously, first of all, who was there? Um, I did see Machete again today. I actually held the door open for him as he was entering the courtroom. We were kind of entering at the same time. I was sitting out in the hallway taking some pictures. jotting down some notes, and I walked through the other courtrooms as well, and I took snapshots of their who was on their dockets, just so I can see, what interesting is underneath the other judges, and I am following a couple cases from the other judges as well. So I just went through, snapped some pictures, things like that. But back into the courtroom, we go into the courtroom. The judge comes in or arrives. All of that happens. And the first thing I notice is that obviously I'm coming in with Machete, but he's behind me. I don't know that he knew it was me, but he's behind me. So we're coming in at the same time. I don't see Machete's face, but I'm looking directly for Manny as soon as I walk into the room. So I immediately see Manny, and he looks my way, but he sees that Machete is behind me, and he just starts smiling. Like I don't think I don't watch a lot of his content. I don't want to blur the lines between what's happening in the courtroom and what has previously happened. I want to see that information and how they present it from the court's perspective. I want to see how the lawyers present that information. So I haven't really watched a lot of it. So this was the first time I've seen him make these gestures in the courtroom. He was smiling. He seemed very happy to see Machete, and I believe that is his wife that comes with him into the courtroom. He looked regular. He looked pleasant. He had on his regular glasses, not some shades or anything like that, but he did have on regular glasses. And this is before anybody spoke to him or anything like that. So he's kind of like peeking at Machete and his wife. He's smiling at them. He's lifting up his eyebrows and making gestures to them and things like that. So I'm just looking and I'm kind of watching the interactions, but I'm also looking at the bailiff to start try to see if the bailiff is seeing that, because they advise you in the courtroom to not have any communications with any of the defendants, and if you do, they will take you out of the courtroom. I didn't say anything, but I just was looking to see if the bailiff picked up on it or anything like that. I didn't see them saying any words or anything like that, so I don't think that they were breaking any rules. Um, he kind of was gesturing and eye movements and things like that to them. Not hand movements, not really moving his head too much, literally just face gestures. So smiles, lifting of the eyebrows, things like that. Okay, so they went through a whole bunch of cases and then it got to Manny. Now we know that they had a trial readiness check. The judge was upset. Everybody was kind of pissed off. Manny had requested a new lawyer. I did let you guys know that that request was denied. The weird thing is that a couple of things have not been updated in the actual case file yet, which is weird. Like today's court date was not showing yet on the actual file. The next proceeding that was scheduled is not yet showing on the file. So I always check for updates after the court to see if what they said in court has been updated within the case file itself. And nothing has been updated. The case, today's court date was not even showing that it was going to happen today if you look at the file, which I thought was really weird. So again, everybody was upset. Manny asked for a new lawyer. There was some back and forth. They had a court date between just the judge, Manny, and his lawyer. And obviously, it was determined that she was going to continue with the case. I did let you guys know that information in the last video. I kind of did a reverse search of the court just to see if he was still listed underneath her as a defendant, and he was. And then I also did a calendar search as well to see if both of them were set on the calendar for the same day. So that's how I knew that he was not going to change lawyers. It was not indicated in the case documents, and it was not advised, obviously, to us prior to that previous court date. So you had to kind of do the work to find out if she was going to still be the lawyer. So, getting to today's date, one thing that I found was interesting was that she said she had just got to the jail yesterday and spent an hour and a half with him. So, all these days have passed, and she just now got to the court to have a conversation with him to be ready for trial today. She just got there yesterday and had an hour and a half conversation. So, I thought that that was pretty weird just to start with. Um, and then she proceeds to say that they're working on it, but they're still not ready, and they hope to be ready after the Thanksgiving holiday. So the judge pretty much scheduled in another trial readiness date, which is going to be for on December 18th, status check, just to see where they are, if they're ready to proceed and move forward with the case. Obviously, this is still back and forth, back and forth. And I believe that there's going to be a lot of nonsense motions. But I believe, as I stated from the beginning, this case does not deserve any more than about 60 valid trial court dates where we look at the information and determine whether or not this is, whether it's guilty or not guilty. Obviously, they have scheduling issues that come in between that, so it would make the case go out longer. You have the judge's schedule, you have the lawyer's schedule, you have getting the inmate out of the prison, you have the actual court schedule of other inmates and things like that as well. So it's not just this case that the judge is viewing. And then you have holidays and things like that where the courts are closed. So those things are the things that would extend the lifetime of a case and kind of make it so that the case stretches out for much longer than actually necessary. Something else I noticed, I don't know if you guys have seen this before. Drop down in the chat if you've seen Manny and you know Manny in person, or maybe you've seen this in his videos. I noticed today when he was leaving the courtroom, he still has his bald head, but he has a weird patch of hair just right in the back of his head. It's kind of in the shape of a candy corn, and it's right in the middle back of his head. Is that a normal cut for him? Is that something that he would normally wear his hair like that? I just thought that it was weird. I paid attention to it. Some other things that I noticed is that there's a lot of defendants in the courtroom at one time, at least 10, sometimes 12, sometimes more than that. But what I noticed is that his lawyer is the only lawyer that actually sits next to him the entire time. She sits next to him the entire time. She's either sometimes she sits there quietly or they're whispering to each other. It's really like babying and kind of holding handish. All of the other lawyers sit at the bench, and when they may have conversations with the defendants prior to like court starting if they're all in the room. They may ask the judge, "Hey, can I sidebar with the client prior to?" And then they will go speak to them. There's a lot of different things that happen in the courtroom, and I kind of want to watch it from the perspective of the link to see what you guys get a chance to see. But I haven't gotten a chance to watch it that way because I'm normally in the courtroom. So it's kind of like she's babying him and she's holding his hand and not actually holding his hand, but that's the motion that it portrays in the courtroom. It's like he needs her to be by him or near him throughout the entirety of the setting, which is very weird. None of the other inmates are doing that. She sat alongside him for a very long time. A lot of the things that she was talking about, I was trying to hear, but there's other whispers going on in the courtroom, so it's very hard to hear. But I did notice that she was talking to him about the DA's expectations and things of that nature. And a lot of the things he just kind of nodded his head in agreement, and things like that. So that was pretty much the gist of what happened for the Manny case. Pretty much, we're going to have another another trial readiness status check is going to be on December 18th, We'll be there for that as well. But again, a lot of what happened today was still not a very good update from what we got last week. Pretty much her answer was, we're working on it. And I just seen him yesterday for an hour and a half. And he didn't get a chance, and they did get a chance to speak to the other attorney. So they talked about it for about an hour and a half as well. Um, but to me, that's not a real status check. And for it to have been done one day prior to the day you're supposed to be ready tells me that you could have done a little bit more. You could have taken more steps to make sure that you were ready for today. We should have gotten a go. Now, I'm not sure what was the reason for the holdup. If it was a matter of her scheduling, because she did have another case sitting right in the courtroom with her. She was asked about both cases while she was there. She did have to speak to both of them. Or I don't know if it's just a matter of calendar, um, or something happened with Manny. I'm not really sure. I didn't see it in his file that he was changed or moved or that any incidents happened or anything like that. But for her to just have now been getting ready to go for this, trial readiness that was due today, just yesterday, it speaks volumes as to why the case is moving as slowly as it is moving. And that's just what it is. Now, the interesting part of all of this next case is that it ties right into this case just a little bit. So, getting into the Devyn Michaels case, what I wanted to point out was that the first thing that was discussed, first of all, court breaks. We went through the beginning morning cases from 9 to about 10 o'clock, maybe 10:15 ish. That's when Manny and all of his cases went. The court break, and then the afternoon cases came in. Most of the women cases were coming in. There were still a couple of men that came in after, in between that case, and then the Devyn Michaels case came in. I had to go back and forth to my car to pay for parking a couple of times. That's neither here nor there, but I went back to the car to pay for parking, and when I came back, all of the jurors were standing outside of the courtroom. So I went inside of the courtroom, sat down, took my seat, and then I started to just pay attention to what was happening in the courtroom. There's new people in the courtroom now, different cases. So there's different people there. So we're sitting there waiting, and prior to the jury going in, the the lawyer pretty much asks that can they have a moment with the judge, and they want to discuss an article that was put out by the Review Journal. Now I'm going to be very careful how I give this commentary for this portion, because not that they got in trouble for it, but it's frowned upon, right? Certain things that come out of the courtroom is going to be frowned upon. So I will just say this: there are certain things that happen within the media, right, that they don't want to be discussed or heard by the jurors. They don't want the jurors to hear these things, right? So when you go in for jury duty and all of those things, they tell you that you are not allowed to listen to anything about the case, no news articles, no radio, anything like that. The only information that you are allowed to use is the information that comes out of the courtroom. So in the last court date, the Review Journal, the Las Vegas Review Journal was there, and they put out an article. And this was the title of that article. I'm going to see if I can put it up here for you guys so that you can see it. Okay, so you guys can see that, right? Away from the jury, detectives testify about disposal of victim's head in the decapitation case. A police detective testifies Wednesday that a woman accused of unaliving her on and off again boyfriend indicated she disposed of his head in the trash. Now, the problem with this article is that it says away from jury, detectives testifies about the disposal of the victim's head. So the lawyers saw this, the judge woke up to seeing this. There are conversations that happen in the courtroom that surrounds coverage that comes out of the media, right? And because I am going to be media on this case, I have to be very careful. So I'm going to try to let you guys know what happened. Um, so prior to the jurors coming into the room, the lawyer wanted to speak about this article. And they wanted to make sure that the jurors have not seen it, they did not see it, and they have no way of seeing it. They were trying to get this article removed. They want to remove the headline out of the court exhibits. Jurors should not be seeing this information. And then the judge kind of responded to that. She let them know that, this is a public courtroom. There's no live streaming when the jury is not here, right? So there's certain things that happen. There's going to be times during the trial where if there's something that is involved in the media, the jury will not be able to hear that information. And if the jury cannot hear that information, then they don't want it to come out to the public, right? So as we go to start the Manuel Ruiz case, it will be the same thing. There will be, because the case has a lot of eyes on it, there will be things that will be happening that they will want to keep out of the media. So those things are not going to be televised. So there was a lot of things that I heard inside of the courtroom today that I cannot discuss that was not televised. The cameras were advised to be turned off. The jurors were not let into the room until after this discussion, and they don't want them to have that information. So there's some things about that I just can't give information on. There was a lot of back and forth about that prior to them allowing the jury in. So they went back and forth about that. They let the jury in, all rise again. Everybody sits down. And now we're, I believe, on day 2 of the actual trial for this case. So witnesses are being called, right? So the first witness that was called to the stand was an NYPD officer who was on the scene, right? And her line of questioning pretty much was about how they analyze digital information that they receive. Again, a lot of this information helped me to understand what's going to happen next in the Manuel Weave case. And a lot of the information, it kind of told me what should be happening and what may have already happened, right? So there's hardware and software to analyze, phones and data, which devices were active. So they're asking questions about all of these devices, and they have a specific timeline, guys. So they have from August 6th, 2023 to August 7th, 2023, from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. of those days, right? Just the same thing will happen in the Manuel Ruiz case as well. They're going to have lives. They're going to have timestamps. They want to know exactly what happened from, this time to this time. And it looks like a 24 to 48-hour period. And then they also were able to determine how many devices were actually collected. There were 3 devices that were active at the time that were actually collected. However, there were a total of about, I believe, about 12. So they were very specific with their questioning. Did you read your report for the case prior to today? About what was documented and what was not documented, with photographs, looking for head to give an example or clarify any of the evidence that was documented. So the first person to go was Clinton Campbell. He was a digital forensic examiner. He examines electronic devices, phones. He works for Celebrite magnetic certifications. He sits quietly. Oh, well, sorry. I was taking notes on Devyn as well. So Devyn was sitting there, Devyn Michaels, she was sitting there and she was drinking water, right? But I'm watching her and her hands are shaking. Could you imagine being on trial for something like this? Like I just couldn't imagine. She could barely hold a cup. She was trying to pour water into the cup. And it was kind of like watching that scene on Liar Liar where Jim Carrey is sitting there and he's pouring the water. He's trying not to lie. It was just like that. He's just pouring water everywhere. Um, so there were actually seven phones collected, three tablets, and a laptop. That's all of what was collected. And at the time, three of those devices were actually active, activated, working, phone calls going in and out, some and different things of that nature. So the lawyer, the state's attorney, pulled up the file that the jurors would be getting. So in this file that they're going to be getting, I don't want to say too much, but it does give them every single piece of data that comes out of those phones. When I say every single piece of data, it is so detailed. It's organized into five subfolders. Each one of the folders it has a PDF that explains what's happening in that folder. And then underneath that PDF, there's tons of photos and folders and everything that's connected to that one PDF. And that's just about phones. And then the next one was about, computers. So this is how detailed when they get an investigation and when they take phones and when they take devices, this is how detailed they are going to be searching to see what is going on. Can you guys still hear me? Just making sure. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, we're still good. I can't really tell because I can't see myself anymore. Um, hopefully we're good here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay, yeah. So that's how detailed they're going. And I believe that when the same thing is going to happen for me. And you guys want to know if they're going through these documents, if they're looking at these lives, they're breaking this stuff down in a way that is so detailed. I don't even understand how they're able to follow all of that. So the state's attorney is actually guiding the jury on how to click through the files, how to look through the files, and what things look like when they get inside of it, so that when they go to look at this information together on their own, they know how to look at the information, and we're all getting a view of this as they're going through the demonstration. So he was asking where was the phones located during the incident. So the phones that were active and the computers and things that were active, they're now going into the actual location of these devices. Where was each device located? Was it being used actively? And there was one phone that was being actively, and there was messages being sent back and forth on Instagram. So what the program that Celebrate uses is that it's kind of a device that you plug into, that like they explained it, is a device that you plug into your phone, and it pretty much extracts all of the information that is in the phone, anything that is ever downloaded, and it separates it into categories on its own. And then they go through and dig and fix and put everything into the categories that they wanted and present it how they, present it in a more cohesive look for the jurors and the defendants and both, the plaintiffs. So they looked at the messages that was being sent on, and there was active use there. There was also some pictures that was taken as well. I don't want to say too much about the pictures because, again, I'll just wait for you guys to see them when they're posted somewhere else publicly, then I will give you guys the actual pictures. But there were pictures that was taken that they were looking on at from July 15th of 2022. There were family pictures, and then there were some other photos that they were looking at for evidence as to what happened on that date. And then they were also asking questions because there is a message that was found as to when the dad found out that she was married, right, to the son. So then they go into um, the next witness, and this witness talks a little bit about blood and things like that. It's a little bit different of it's a different part of the case. She is a crime scene analysis, right? So first thing I want to tell you guys about the juror that I noticed is that there were 10 men, 4 women, right? 10 men, 4 women, all either Caucasian or Hispanic, right? So this is a Spanish woman who has pretty much only got 4 women and 10 men who are going to be the jurors behind this case. And I just feel like that's going to be hard for her. I wish it was a little bit more even split. Maybe five, maybe a little bit more women. I believe there's 14 in total. There's 12 jurors with 2 alternates, and it don't tell you who the alternates are, but I'm gonna find that out. So yeah, with that being said, she's gonna have a little bit of a hard time with that. And then the judge did take the time to admonish the jury again as they walked into the room prior to all of that. Just wanted to make sure that I notated that for you guys. Admonish pretty much means read the same um that their same declaration that they're not able to, watch any media or anything like that. So she admonished them again. Um, so the state then calls Nicole Merriam. Nicole Merriam is a crime scene analyst. She's with the Henderson Police Department, and her line of questioning was about the weapons that were found. It was about blood that was found. So let's get into the weapons. There were some samurai swords found, right? And there was a lot of questions about these swords, very detailed questions. Where were they located? What was looked at on the swords? Did you check the handles? Did you check the blades? Was there any indications of usage? Did you check the sleeves that go on the blades? Was there any indications there of usage? Was there any blood? Was there any dents in the blades or anything like that? Because if a person has been decapitated, that would be a weapon that could do it. So did we look at those in its entirety? So the state begins to question the officer Nicole Merriam about the actual swords. Now she says she saw the swords, she notated, she looked at the blades. There were actually 3 swords, excuse me. And there was no sight of any blood, dents, no indications that the swords had been used as a weapon. So they were asking, is that why they were not taken into evidence? And she was pretty much like, yeah, they were not taken into evidence because there was no indication that those were used anyway to commit a crime. So they then asked her about a white table, and it was like, well, what is it with what was on the white? Why did you take a picture of the white table? And she was like, sometimes we don't. Every picture is not taken for a specific reason. The first thing that they do when they go into a crime scene is take a photo from all 4 corners of the room. So there will be pictures that will be random that don't indicate anything in the moment, but may indicate something at a later time. So they just take random pictures of random things. And then the things that they are marking in as evidence, they take closer pictures of those, mark what needs to be marked, and they file that into evidence. So she was like, the picture of the white table, I'm not really sure what that is or why I took it or anything like that. And there was she was like, if there was no significance to it, then then it would not have been added into evidence. And she was just pretty much like everything that was significant to evidence in the moment of the crime was added. They then go into the to a phone, and they were asking her about the phone as they saw a drop of blood was she's it was marked indicated that the phone had a drop of blood and a swipe, and there was a swipe through the blood, right? So it looked like there was a drop of blood had dropped, and then it dried a little bit, and then somebody swiped it like to open up a phone. They swiped it and continued to use the phone. So they asked about the phone, and they showed a photo of this crack on the screen, and then they asked her about the drop of blood that was on the screen, and then they asked her, did she swab it, and then did she swab the back of the phone, and she didn't said that she didn't swab the back of the phone because she only swabbed the front of the phone, which was the only reason was to collect the evidence. It was she swabbed the blood that was on the phone, right? All of the DNA was sent to the LV MPD for their expertise as to, was it blood, pretty much to get analyzed. So he pretty much was trying to question her about that. Um, and she stood her ground. She's like, yeah, no, that's not my job. My job was to collect the evidence. And again, I explained to you how we take pictures and what we normally would do, but there is no specific, you have to do this or that or this and that. You develop what, your flow is, but there are obviously, you want to look for the evidence and make sure you have photos of the actual evidence. Um, so again, they questioned her if they took the phone into evidence for what she thought was blood, but it also had to be sent to someone else for verification, then why didn't she not send the swords? And she stood her ground again because there was no blood and there was no indication that those swords were used in a crime. They asked did she inspect the blades of the weapons of the swords to see if they left thumbprints, because fingerprints and things like that can be left on metal. And she said yes, and there were no prints that were visible, which is why she did not send them. And he asked her if anything was visible, would you have sent them? And she says yes. So there was a lot about those things entered. There was a lot of photos entered, and the next thing that they talked about was it was photos of her hands, right? So they pulled up these photos of her hands, and on her right hand, on her knuckle, on her first two knuckles, which is the pointer finger and the middle finger, like her fingers were gashed. It looked like they were in some sort of chopping machine right at the knuckles. They were all gashed up, and it looked like there was like I don't know, guys. Her fingers looked chewed completely up. They looked so chewed up. I was just like, oh my god, what happened to her? So after that, they showed the pictures of her hands and the gashes and all of that, and the middle finger, like there was like a bone taken out of that, and that was a photo that was taken on December 5th, 2022. So what they're trying to do is pretty much verify and establish where all of the devices were, right? Who was using them, who they were sent, who sent messages where and why. They're now looking at the phone as well for blood, fingerprints. There's a lot of evidence inside of this case. There's bleach bottles, there's so many different things. And then we have the actual head where, she said in front of just a detective and not the jurors that she's thrown this head in the trash. This case is crazy, guys. I don't even know what to say about this case. There's so much twists and turns. There's a relationship between her and his son. There's a marriage. There's a beheading. There's a mother who finds her child's head. There's so many different things that are spinning out of control. I have to do a lot more digging into this case because there are some things that I want to make sure that um, we have the right facts on as it goes on. Now, what I want to talk about a little bit is her behavior as she entered the courtroom because I found that to be weird as well. So again, I told you guys that they had a break in between the first cases and the second cases. So the first cases was Manny and all the gentlemen that followed and were after him, and then the second was at 11 o'clock, where the Devin Michaels case was being held. And we were kind of sitting in the courtroom waiting for her to come in. And if you see the picture that's on the screen, that is exactly what she was wearing today, but that is not a picture that was taken from today because the lawyer was wearing something else. So, what I do notice about the news as well is that they're not always giving you a picture of the date at hand. It could be days prior of previous photos or something like that. She did again have on the same shirt, but that was not taken today because the lawyer had different clothes on. That is a photo from another prior day. She busts into the courtroom, like they let her in, and she's kind of like falling into the courtroom, but she's like laughing and talking to somebody. I'm like, this is a whole murder trial. So how did you come into the courtroom like that? And then they start talking about what you did, and you fall into this shell of a person who is now a victim and someone who is hurt and who is scared and afraid. I saw different people, excuse me. I saw two different people and it was very weird. And I'm interested to see how that continues to play out going forward. Let me just take a look at your comments down here and see what you guys are saying really quickly. Hey, Queen Pisces, welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'm seeing different stuff here. Hold on, I missed a lot of y'all comments. Let me get rid of Nightbot right quick. Okay. Thank you for being here, Caddy. I appreciate you. Jealous. Scorpio, what's up? Thank you for being here. Hey, Beans. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Let me get rid of you. I don't know what that is. Hey, Eddie. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And welcome, welcome. Yes, y'all. Please hit the like button for me. Please hit the like button. So yeah, court was crazy today. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was getting tired at that point. I was exhausted. I started getting a headache, and I don't really feel the best. So I kind of left. I will watch the rest of it. Um, to see what I missed at the end there. But again, there's so many things that happen inside of the courtroom that you guys don't get a chance to see. There's things that happen behind the scene, especially when it comes to the jurors and when trial gets actually set. And when it comes to the media and things like that, you kind of got to be in a room for a lot of what's going to happen. I'm grateful to be able to have a space in a place and be in a place to where I can do that because I don't want to miss out on too much, right? Um, and I would have missed out on all that information today. I wouldn't have known that those things happen had I not been there. So these are things that, come with following a case. Ooh, that was a big update for you guys today. That was a big update. Small update on the Manny case, but a much bigger update on the Devin Michaels case. And then just looking at how things maybe will coincide and what we can look forward to in the future as it pertains to the actual trial in this courtroom, right? Because we also know that the each one of the judges are kind of different as well. They build their own flows as well. So we will have to see what happens next. Let me see what else we got here. Am I able to actually show this now? Let's see. Can I show it? Yeah, that was a better picture. That's the one that I was trying to show you to give her a little bit more of a close-up view of her. But again, that's not what she was wearing today by any means. And I did want to make sure that I put that back up on the screen for those of you who may have missed it. This is the article that has gotten the review journal in trouble. So I want to make sure that I'm very careful about how I move things out of this case. Um, the judge was not happy waking up to this. She was not happy that this information got out. Obviously, I'm not the biggest creator in the world, but I am covering the case, and I don't want anything to come from me that will get back to the judge that'll get me kicked out of the courtroom. She did stress the fact that there is freedom to press. They do have the right to report what they see in the courtroom. And the state's attorney was trying to get them to throw it out to make sure, or to have it removed to make sure that the jurors can't see it. And the judge did advise that she's not able to do that. It's pretty much against the law. Can't record what happens, but you can say what you saw. So again, a lot to look forward there. And yeah, does anybody have any questions or anything like that before I let you guys go? You know, I don't like to hold you guys too long. I'll give you guys a nice, good full hour. I did go back and let you guys know that we're not going to be um, working on this case anymore, which is the Ramika Meeks case, not until there's something actually filed in the courtroom. Because again, a lot of what's happening right now is pretty much just rumors, things that should not be getting spoken about, just things that doesn't even matter. Some of the content creators that are on that case, they're literally driving me up the wall. They're talking about the girls' butt sizes and weird stuff. Like somebody is gone. Somebody is not here anymore, and the parent has to see that. Why would we make that anything more important than what's happening right now? And then just to give you guys a final update, we are still going over the Hatchet murders. Make sure you guys look forward to the next part. We are going to be going down into the Las Vegas tunnels underground to visit and speak with and talk to some of the people that are down there. I wanted to let you guys see what it looks like. It's actually kind of crazy down there. There's a lot of things that happen. People get unalived all the time. It's actually a part of the storm drain system. There was somebody who just passed away there just due to rain. About a month or so ago, we had a rainy day. It was really raining really, really hard. Those tunnels fill up with water, and a woman and a man got wiped away. The woman was not found until she was unalived. So it's not safe down there by any means. I'm going to be taking somebody down there with me to make sure that I'm all good. But we are going to go down and get that content for you guys. No more questions. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all for being here. So just to give you guys one final update on the way out for the Manny Ruiz case, there is going to be another status check. They were not ready today. They should have been ready today, and they were not. Again, like I advised, she said that Rodolfo, the lawyer, the public defender, advised the judge that she had just went to see Manny yesterday, and she spent about an hour and a half with him, and she hopes to have the case ready just after the holidays. So yeah, just gonna play some bills right quick, play a little bit of commercial. If you guys would like to support the channel, please hit the like button. That's really all I need. Share if you care. Also, if you'd like to support the channel to help me get rid of some of those parking passes that I had to pay for today, I will post them later with my Cash App. It's $ sneaky link LV. And if you want to help me with that, you can. And yeah, hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back.
I see you. I see you. Just a looking and a lurking. Get your ass up off the pressure sticks twerking. Can you proud see the like the blick is working? Now drop some links in the chat, you little sneakies, little sneakies. Say some shit going down, let's take a peeky, take a peeky. Who the fuck is you? Just call me sneaky. Ayo sneaky, ayo sneaky.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to take a quick little break, right quick, before we get out of here and allow you guys to put some questions in the chat if necessary. But since you guys don't have any questions, let me double check because I'm seeing two different things happening here. My chats look weird. Yeah. I sat next to you during the first couple of court dates from Annie's trial. Unfortunately, I broke my ankle, so I haven't been able to attend. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sending some healing prayers your way, and I wish you a speedy recovery so you can get back in the courtroom. And Eddie, thank you for keeping us updated. Take care, feel better. Yes, I did okay, guys. I don't feel good. My voice is horrible, but I feel like I did okay. Thank you guys for bearing with me through it all. I appreciate y'all. And I got to figure out why StreamYard wasn't working on my computer and I had to come to my tablet because I wanted to be able to move some things around as I was talking to y'all. So I will figure that out. We're gonna go live in the morning, talk about a couple of other topics. So hopefully I will see you guys there. Thank you so very much for being here with me today. I appreciate you. Please make sure you smash the like button. Everybody that's here that's watching on Twitch, I appreciate you. We're also streaming right now live on Rumble. If you're here, thank you. I appreciate you so much. I'm watching you over there. And if you guys are not subscribed to me on Twitch and on Rumble, I'm going to make sure I post that again on the community wall so you guys can go over there to subscribe. I usually post pictures of behind the scenes things and do short commentary for the cases on both of those other channels. And here you kind of get just the longer details of it. Yeah, so check us out over there. And also want to make sure you check out the Law Abiding Citizens podcast. Click on the link. Oh, and Christmas is coming, guys. I reposted my last year's Christmas album. I'm in the process of making this year's Christmas album. So please make sure y'all start giving it some spins if you want to make your house start to feel cozy and feel old Christmas like. Go ahead and play that playlist. Share it with your friends and family so they can have some upbeat music to listen to for the holidays. It's not your regular, oh, here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, la 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 crap. Um, so I hope you guys enjoy that. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you so much. Much love to everybody in the chat. Thank you all and have a good night.
Sin City, put your guns down and stand with me. This shit was so silly. Tore up a whole city and 2 whole families. Sin City, Sin City, Sin City, Sin City. Let's go. Put down your guns, there's a cost to pay for the games you play. It could be your life, in a grave or a cell. Is it worth it? Nobody's perfect. Don't leave your family hurting. It ain't worth it. Hey, yeah, you put it down and walk away. Live to fight another day. There's a cost to pay for the games you play. The rest we lay. Finny, bubbly. We celebrate your life today. Many to the Lord, I hope you pray. Now they wanna take your life away, all for a YouTube page. Rest in heaven, Finny, you will be missed. Sleep like an angel, Bubbly, you will be missed. Sending love to the babies, they bless the world with. Condolences to your families you can no longer sit with. Sympathy to those who witness. Shout out to Las Vegas, Sin City. Put your guns down and stand with me. This shit was so silly. Tore up a whole city and 2 whole families. Stop trying to compete where you do not compare. We are all so different, so special, so rare. Create with care, share with good intentions. Subscribe with high expectations and like with love. Yours truly sneaky, 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 sneaky. Put it down, you put it down. You got it done, there's a cost to pay for the games you play. It could be your life in a grave or a cell. Is it worth it? Nobody's perfect. Don't leave your family hurting. It ain't worth it. Hey, yeah, you put it down and walk away. Live to fight another day. There's a cost to pay for the games you play. The rest we lay. Finny, bubbly, we celebrate your life today. Many to the Lord, I hope you pray. Now they wanna take your life away, all for a YouTube page. Rest in heaven, Finny, you will be missed. Sleep like an angel, Bubbly, you will be missed. Sending love to the babies they bless the world with. Condolences to your families you can no longer sit with. Sympathy to those who witness. Shout out to Las Vegas, Sin City. What I mean, to the Lord I hope you pray. Now they wanna take your life away, all for a YouTube page. Rest in heaven, City, you will be missed. Sleep like an angel, Bubbly, you will be missed. Sending love to the babies they bless the world with. Condolences to your families you can no longer sit with. Sympathy to those who witness. Shout out to Las Vegas, Sin City. Put your guns down and stand with me. This shit was so silly. Tore up a whole city and 2 whole families. Stop trying to compete where you do not compare. We are all so different, so special, so rare. Create with care, share with good intentions. Subscribe with high expectations and like with love. Yours truly, Sneaky.